rappers. If I send the dressers, they gon' come and stretch.
What it is, it's your boys, Deuce, Teddy, and Laquille, reporting with the facts, opinions, and BS straight from the top of the key. What's good?
What's up, man?
Chilling, slow motion, you know what I'm saying? Sight got all the energy for the night, you feel me? Game 6, they popping. Seen some series wrap up, trying to force some game 7s over here like the Celtics did, you feel me? So let's go ahead and get started with that synergy, that energy. Talk about how the Suns went ahead and bow down. They forfeited in game 6, you know? So we can go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about that game and what you think happened in that game and pretty much your spell of that game.
Uh, the they have no defense on they have no perimeter defense. They have no paint presence without Aiden. Lundell was overmatched. Hell, Aiden was overmatched.
Yeah.
We can't say the backup center was overmatched when the starting center couldn't do nothing either. So if you don't have your starting center going, the games that you do win, your players have to play at a crazy level to win it by scraping out wins. You're not in a position to win when you continue to lose players. You continue to go down. You're relying on a skeleton of a team. You're relying on two people. And against the best team in the West.
You're relying on good and what you said, it's like a pun to it because it's the best team in the West, not the best 1-2 punch, not the best just we got these two people. It's the best team in the West. And when you look at the Suns, that's not a cohesive team. They don't have that chemistry, that longevity like prior to coming into, I think they played 8 games as a core with that new core. And that was, Durant injuring himself and taking some more voluntary time off. But even watching it, like KD, it's like, man, I be having these mind opening, experiences when I look in. KD, not KD. Like he's nice, he's efficient. But think about KD in those younger years when he was forceful and it looked like nobody could stop him. Now it's like kind of got this calm demeanor. It's like watching LeBron. You don't watch LeBron just beat his way to the paint and just kill people because I'm sitting here looking for LeBron to just put Dylan Brooks in his place, and I had to accept that maybe he can't do it the way he used to do it. He has to do it a different way where he gets 20 something, but he's dishing it. He's making all the basketball plays, So it's no slight to how they playing now, but you do have to acknowledge like they don't look how they looked when they were younger. And that's common sense. That's what happens. Father time kicks in. But, Devin Booker, I want to give my boy Steph Curry, Western Conference MVP. I want to give it to him so bad, right? But I'm watching Devin Booker, and I'm like, there's no way I can argue for Steph Curry when Devin Booker balling the way that he balling. And he picked the wrong game not to show up. A measly 12 points, 4 for 13 shooting. It was just, he was out there like Clay. He looked like Clay. You can't look like Clay. We need Clay to look like D Book. And he picked the wrong time to show up. And when I seen DeAndre Ayton, he was ruled out, I said, that's it. And I was hopeful because sometimes the backup can bring you something for that one game that you're not prepared for. Nah, not against this kind of talent. Nope. He couldn't do it.
No way.
He couldn't do it. They were too smart of an organization, and they did what they had to do. I mean, you got the boards. You got beat on the boards by damn near 20. You can't do that in the game 6. And you at home, like I didn't see any fight. Like you let Cameron Payne, the sloth of the NBA, come out and give you, not because I move, just because I look, you know what I'm saying? But he gave you 31 points. off 12 for 16 shooting, 7 for 9 from the three. In the first quarter alone, I think he was 5 for 5 from the three. Y'all let the little sloth come out and do you dirty.
And I just
But
say, Kevin
but
Durant,
that's all you really got for real from the Suns.
Kevin Durant does look like Kevin Durant.
Nah, I ain't see him rocking and attacking like
Kevin Durant, all the rest of the series, other than the last game, Kevin
I'm
Durant,
talking. I'm not talking
Kevin
about
Durant
Kevin
has
Durant.
been Kevin Durant. The
I know,
difference
but
with
I'm
Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant doesn't have the Warriors defense around him. Kevin Durant doesn't have the Thunder defense around him. Kevin Durant in Brooklyn was the same Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant with the Suns, the same Kevin Durant. He don't
but what
have
I'm saying,
perimeter
if you watch him
defenders.
in his younger years, him sizing up, dribbling, like he doesn't really do all of that. He's just very to the point.
Yeah. Him doing all the extra that he used to do was cool, but he still was giving you the same numbers that he giving you. It's just that, like we see here in Brooklyn, when they couldn't guard anybody, but when they had everybody else, it's like they can play some ball. They playing a little defense. They got it. They got some defenders out there. They got some rebounders out there. They got Nick Claxton out there covering up the rest of the stuff that they can't do. They got Ben Simmons guarding the wings. They went on a they the one that team put the Nets in the playoffs
Yeah.
because they had defense. Westbrook and KD got to the finals, not just because of Westbrook and KD, because of Cephalosha, Ibaka, Kendrick Perkins, and the rest of the defenders on there, that good ass defensive team as well. The Warriors were the number one defense in the Steph been to 3 finals without, he only won 2 without KD, but he been to 3 without KD. Steph's record was 67-15 when they won the title, 73-9 the year before. They were a great defensive team before KD got there. They shut down KD and Westbrook in a 3-1 comeback.
Yeah.
So Kevin Durant with no defenders around him has always looked the same. Kevin Durant, when he's been on Steph's side, when he's been on Steph's team, with like a world beater. Since he hasn't been and before he's been, Kevin Durant looked like he needed to come to Steph's team. And that's just what it looked like. He gonna give you his 27, his 7 rebounds.
But I'm not talking about the stats though. I'm talking more so about his style of play.
Yeah, on this team, that style of play, he can't. The energy he has to exert on this team because of all the missing, he has to be one-dimensional. Because they gave up so much to get him on this team.
But I wouldn't even say he one-dimensional. What I mean is like you're not gonna see Kevin Durant going in for a dunk. You're not gonna see it.
Yeah,
it's like James Harden style of play. He did his second dunk of the year. Yes, his style of play is different, as he's got noted. Like that's what I'm saying about Durant.
The way people play Durant is also different.
Hey.
And because Durant is so efficient Durant also doesn't get a lot of easy stuff that he used to get. In the series against Boston, Durant wasn't getting to the rim. Again, the Nets in Boston, Durant was, because they not, bro. It's not easy basketball like it used to be for you. And Durant, for a while, we were saying he's one of the best. He is questionably the best player in the NBA. But that's because of what he was able to do while he was on certain teams, being the best player on every team he's went to. He didn't look like the best player on his team this time. His book team. His book team. But this is the same KD, and KD was playing the same way when he was on the Nets. When he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
When he was all of that, it's just the way that they play. They just don't have nothing. I take Nick Claxton over Aiden. I take Nick Claxton over number 1 pick Aiden all day long on my team. I know what I can build around Nick Claxton. I don't know what I can build around Aiden. I don't know what Aiden I'm going to get. I know what Nick Claxton I'm going to get every night. I can put that on the floor and know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
He gonna give me defense. He gonna give me rebounding, two blocks, 6, 7, 8, 9 rebounds. He gonna fight every night. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna get from Aiden. Might get 4 rebounds. Might get 8.
So, with that being said, what do you think the focal point is going to be for the Phoenix Suns this offseason?
Role players.
Role players.
Get rid of Chris Paul.
Get rid of Chris Paul?
Get rid of Chris Paul.
So is this a Chris Paul retire? Do you see a landing spot for Chris Paul?
He has a nice contract. That's guaranteed. It's going to be hard to get rid of Chris Paul.
Okay.
But KD about to be 35. He's talking about 38-year-old LeBron. KD 34. He's going to start the next year 35 years old, coming off of the last 3 years being injured every single year.
Yeah.
At least once.
And he has shoddy endurance as well. Not endurance.
Yeah,
durability.
The last injury we seen him have, nobody was there. It's a layup line. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
no, I'm talking about CP3.
No, I'm talking about CP3. But I'm saying
you talking about Durant.
Yeah, I'm talking about Durant. So when you know your 2 stars ain't getting younger, the one player that this nigga is when the playoffs start, he's not on the roster. Just take him off the roster. If you know he's not able to get you over the hump, and he's not going to be available to get you over the hump, get some players that's going to be there.
Yeah,
you can find great Bruce Browns and all players like that in this league that can put a team together around Book and KD. Hell, the rest of the Nets, if you would have just put Book and KD on the rest of the Nets and just swapped out Kyrie and Book, the Nets probably wouldn't. They look good. They look way better.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. Once the Nets got rid of Kyrie, I mean, even at the beginning of the season, we talked about it. If they got rid of Kyrie with KD and everybody else, that was still a good team. Mm-hmm. When you think about defense, interior defensive presence, shooters, facilitators,
rebounding, size.
You had all of that around KD. But then KD got up out of there, and I'm just like, hey, makes sense, especially what you gave up from the Suns organization. Bro, D-Book, KD, and Chris Paul are injury prone when it comes to the playoffs. So you knew, rolling the dice, at least one of them was going to go out.
They need Claxton over there. They need Claxton. They need the rest of the Nets in the Suns.
Yeah.
Because Aiden don't even want to be there. He don't like being the Sun for something. He don't like Monty. He don't like none of that. He probably didn't play because he don't want to play.
Exactly. That's what I think will happen, because before that, they were talking about DeAndre Ayton working his way out of there.
Yeah, so
and it makes sense. I mean, he don't like having to guard the primary ball player. He put in these situations, he's getting exposed. He's getting exposed. And it's not the first time that DeAndre Ayton has been disgruntled for whatever reason. Hell, last season, they didn't even know if he was going to be here.
Yeah. So you can get a lot for CP. You can get a lot of good team for CP3 and Ayton. You can get 2
What did you think? What about a D Lil on that team?
Yeah, and you can get.
But honestly, it's not even just that. It's if you, like you said, if you build the role pieces around them, that's what you need, because you need defensive pieces. You don't have those defensive pieces anymore. You don't really have that person coming off the bench that was like a guaranteed bucket, late shot clock bucket, just a necessary bucket, a break the iceberg bucket. That's what Cam Johnson was for you. You don't have that anymore. So I think if you move forward, when maybe Cameron Payne is your point guard, somebody that can run the floor with everybody.
You could get something better than Cam. Like, look at how Mike Conley was for. You got.
But I'm just saying somebody younger who can run that floor. Because Cameron Payne, I mean, look, 31. Hold on, where did I go? 31 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. So not the facilitator, but just somebody that can push that momentum, and y'all can get something going.
Yeah, and that was just the last game though. The game before that.
But he had just came back from injury. He came back during the playoffs.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying since he got put into that starting role, that was the one game where he really shined. The other like 2 games before that, he had like 4 or 5 assists.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that when you got those 2 players, you need a facilitator.
Yeah.
So it's either gonna be from your point guard position or your power forward position. Or your, you know what I'm saying, your big position. You either gonna get a Jokic, Draymond Green, Sengun player, or you gonna have to go get a facilitating point guard that can knock down that's a 3-and-D point guard.
Like Alonzo.
Like Alonzo, like
But you can't even get Lonzo because he can't stay healthy.
he injured, yeah. So you need a player that's gonna be either I don't know, like you need a 3-and-D like a Kyle Lowry used to be. He can go get you 5-6 assists. He a heavy a hard nosed point guard, but he gonna get a ball to work to KD, Kyrie,
But
KD,
the thing
Kyrie.
is,
I mean
who do you
KD,
have out
Book.
there? Who do you have out there though? It's like you can't even think of anybody.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. That's what I'm saying. You need a power forward. That's like you need a Sengun. You need to go get Sengun, bro. You just go trade Aiden to the Rockets.
Yeah, I
Hey,
definitely think they focus on
ooh,
building around and then potentially moving one of those pieces, and it
trade
might be
Aiden to the
CP3.
Rockets. You can get
Get
some
Aiden to the
pieces from the
Rockets.
Rockets, and Aiden young enough to fit into their core. You can get some. You can get a Kevin Porter. Man, look, you can get you a little Kevin Porter, a little Sengun for Aiden.
Yeah,
That's a
but it
boom
still don't.
boom.
Oh, you said single. Okay, okay. All
You
right.
got a point and you got your power forward. Boom boom.
Let's see. Hold on. I don't want that. All right. So Celtics forced Game 7 in a good fashion. They forced Game 7. Now I want to take a bow because I told them what was key. What did I say the key was, Quill? You remember?
Um, mm-mm.
I said the key was playing Robert Williams. That was the key. That's what I said. And the Celtics came out, started Robert Williams at the 5. Between Robert Williams, look at the energy. 9 rebounds from Jason Tatum. I said you're not gonna win with him being your leading rebounder. It doesn't mean he can't be one of your top rebounders. I just said you're not gonna win with him being your leading rebounder. He comes with 9 rebounds. Al Horford comes with 11 rebounds. Robert Williams comes with 9 rebounds. And then Al Horford has another game where he struggles offensively. However, he gets you 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, and 0 turnovers. So that's good. But then from Robert Williams, you get 2 blocks and 10 points. Not off the bench, but in that starting lineup. Then that energy is spread, is projected throughout the entire starting lineup. You get an additional 7 rebounds from Marcus Smart, 6 rebounds from Jaylen Brown. So within them two, I mean, that 5, you get a total of 50 rebounds. So that 5 gave you 42 rebounds. Just that 5. The one game you had Robert Williams in that lineup, it changes the structure of your defense and of your offense. That's what it did. And that's what potentially got them to that point because you get Tobias Harris comes back with a 2.6 rebound, 3 assists, 2 steal game. PJ Tucker only 2 rebounds. He had 8 points with 3 steals, so that was good for him. And then you really don't get anything from their bench. You get nothing from their bench. So you put up 50 rebounds and they put up 38 rebounds. That's how you win that game. That's how you win that game, that rebound battle. You got 12 more rebounds than them. You won the game by 9. And I kept telling y'all, unless he's not healthy, and I think we just answered the question. I don't know if he's 100% healthy or if he's healthy enough. But I'll tell you this. They got that win, putting him in that starting lineup, and I've been saying that all series. Y'all going against Joel Embiid. The powerhouse of that team is in the paint. Why wouldn't you put your paint, your interior defender, rim protector in the game and see what happens? And they did a good job by listening to Brother Deuce.
Yeah. And you just got a really bad performance from your starting point guard and your backup point guard. James Harden 0 for 6 from the 3. DeAndre
Yep.
Melton 0 for 4 from the 3. your 2 point guards go 0 for 10 from the three after having damn good performances throughout this series.
Who you said? James Harden and who?
DeAnthony Melton.
Melton. Okay.
So when you have a bad shooting night and then just a bad overall shooting night, his push shots wasn't going, his floater wasn't really falling for him. He was 4 for 16 altogether. So it was a night where, you know, if Harden not going with you, Embiid, and you're having a night where everything you're getting is having to come hard, come tough, come, you know what I'm saying? You got to get to the free throw line to win. It masked the fact that Jason Tatum couldn't score in the first half. I mean, first 3 quarters, really.
Yeah.
Because y'all not really scoring either. Y'all not shooting the ball well either. Y'all not knocking things down from the everything y'all throwing up missing too. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, it's like when y'all let that happen, it's like, okay, I'm not going to keep missing. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, bang, 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 game over. Let's go back. Let's go back to the crib.
So, hey, what do you think? What do you think for Game 7? What are you calling Game 7 Boston? What are you calling?
I actually, it's depending on James Harden for me.
James Harden?
It's depending on James Harden for me. Because the one player who was aggressive but just didn't have a good night was James Harden. Harden. Now, do I think Jason Tatum is going to have another bad shooting first half? He's had bad shooting first quarters and first halves throughout this series.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 1 or 2 great Jason Tatum games. So Jason Tatum was maybe, 6 points away from what he averaged for the series, even though he scored 16 in the fourth. He averaged for most games, he was 6 to 10 points off. Whereas where James Harden's level of play has been was way further off. You know what I mean? So it was like, I can, from what I've seen, not from what we know James Harden to be the last couple of years, from what I've seen in his playoffs, James Harden gets back to where he's normally been in this series. Game 7, he leave it on the line, go give you a James Harden game. It's going to be a lot closer game.
Okay.
And it was a close game still without a James Harden game. Without a James Harden game, it took a hell of a fourth quarter to win that game and pull it out.
So I
don't know. I really think the Sixers might pull this out.
So you say James Harden is your X factor?
He's the X factor. I think the Sixers might pull it out.
So you saying Sixers
pull it out? The Celtics didn't look far from what the Celtics gonna do outside of Jason Tatum having a bad night. But he does that. You know what I mean? He has nights where he'll give you 19, 20. They looked like, they fought back and played Celtics ball, even though a couple people didn't play great.
So Jason Tatum's fourth quarter performance helped kind of mask his lack of performance in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
But also the fact that Jason Tatum was able to give you 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, that also helped mask the fact that he didn't, because he was 5 for 21. Horrible. But I love what he said at the end of the game. He exuded that STL, that 3-1-4 mentality. He said, I am humbly one of the best players in the world. You talk that talk. And I still remember, people don't know, I was sliding back to St. Louis one time. Me and my boys used to run savage, be killing these young bucks in a game of basketball on somebody. This is when I first heard of Jason Tatum, his senior year in high school. I think he just declared that he was going to Duke. And they said, I'm going to bring out Jason Tatum. I'm like, who? Jason who? Because I ain't been in the city for a hot minute. I'm like, bring him out. I went and looked him up. I said, okay. And then I watch him. Boy. But I tell you this, he would have left that gym knowing who we were. But when I did my research, I was like, he ain't finna slide out. He just declared to do. He not finna risk his basketball career, not for us. You know what I'm saying? But it was interesting, the fact that they knew we could ball, and the fact that they was like, we're gonna bring it. It was actually your little brother. That's who said it. It was your little brother. Talking
Oh,
about, I'm gonna bring out Jason Tatum. Bring out Jason Tatum.
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm going with the STL, the St. Louis Celtics. That's who I'm rocking with. Because as you can see, you can still have a poor game, offensive game. This is why I mean he was still balling that game. Scoring the ball is one aspect of balling. That is not the entire game. And that's what people get wrapped up on. People get wrapped up and they believe that that is the entirety of the game, you scoring the ball. That is not the entirety of the game. He found other ways to affect the game, to impact the game. That's what he did. And then when fourth quarter called, when his team needed him most, he picked up the phone and said hello. So I'm
And
rocking with them.
that's why I also picked the Sixers to beat them. Because if you look at his end of game numbers, it looks like a regular Jason Tatum game.
Yeah.
He still had 8-9 rebounds. He still had 4 or 5 assists. He had 6 assists, 8-9 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, close to 20 points. That's what he's been averaging in the playoffs. So they look at the end, even though we know that he struggled throughout the game. At the end, he gave you his normal numbers. Yeah. Everybody gave you their normal numbers. They won by 9. And then if you look at how far off James Harden was, it's like, oh, you can look at like, oh, that's probably why they lost the game.
But at the same time, the amount of shots he took, he was able to give you 50. So let's say if he shoots better.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, if you're about Jason Tatum, right?
Yeah, if he shoots better, he's giving you 40 to 50. That changes the nature of the game. But I get what you're saying, because you're saying of James Harden. But only issue is between Jason Tatum and James Harden, who's more likely to give you 50 with the people that's on the court. It's Jason Tatum. James Harden don't really give you that.
In this series, the person that's been more likely to give you, the person that has given you it more has been James Harden.
But it was only because Embiid wasn't on the floor.
And then Embiid came back and he had 40 again.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If he has like a 20 game that because he's been in the 20s the other games. Even if he had one of his normal games, we're closer to where the averages are. Tatum pretty much close to where his average was. So that's why I just hope that if we see both them stars go play, I take Joel Embiid and Harden good game above Jaylen Brown and Tatum, because I've seen them both play at high levels while James Harden and Joel Embiid play at high levels, and they beat them.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. We shall see.
All right, so then we got the Heat. They sent the Knicks packing. The good old Knickerbockers up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Bye. That's what the Heat did to the Knickerbockers. So let's talk about that. I'm going to say I appreciate the shout out, Julius Randle. Let me show y'all what I mean by when I say he shouted us out. I appreciate it. I love when people rep for the city, you know, especially when you're not from the city. I still appreciate it. But this is what I mean right here. He represented 314. That's the area code. That's my boy. So I appreciate the shout out. You know, it's the St. Louis Celtics. You trying to campaign your way into the city. And I feel you. However, Spike Lee, Stephen A., Jalen Brunson, and Knick fans don't appreciate the shout out. In an elimination game, you go 3 for 14, 1 for 7. You forgot, Julius Randle, that you are a 4.
6'10".
You forgot that you are a 4.
Midway through, he was got that All-Star break. That's what did it. All-Star
break. Bro, I knew at that when 3-point shot.
Bro, that's what it happened.
You look, bro. You not Karl Anthony Towns, bro. You not Karl Anthony Towns, bro. He's in a dimension of his own. You not him, bro. You need to. You're not a shooting guard. It's not to hold your skills or put you in a certain category. But in that game,
he is not cat. That is real. He is not cat.
you got to do something more. 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. Jalen Brunson needed help me. He needed your help, bro. He needed your help.
Comparison, cat. That's a hell of a comparison.
I mean, RJ Barrett. You picked a fine time to disappear as well. 1 for 10. 0 for 3 from the 3. RJ Barrett, you crumble. You like a dry ass cookie. You crumble under pressure. Quentin Grimes, I told you them young motherfuckers was gonna bite them in the ass. You seen Quentin Grimes gonna airball that damn three at the end of the game. Boy, y'all bet I'll putting Derrick Rose in that damn game, let him shoot that three with his eyes closed.
Yeah, watching teams that don't have a great offense and then watching teams that run great offense is so night and day.
Yeah.
Like the Heat don't necessarily run great offense. They don't. Kyle Lowry actually runs their offense great when he's on the floor.
Yeah.
Because he'll get down and he'll get into actual offensive sets. He'll get in, they'll run plays. They'll make sure this person touches. You'll see them setting picks and getting around picks to get into their offense, to get into the when Jimmy Butler's posting somebody up. They'll get into the mismatches. They'll get into basketball shit. When you watch the Knicks play, once they cross half court, Jalen Brunson is like dribble, half court, boom, go around the pick. It's like it's constant Brunson movement, and then he'll pass it off, and then the other person just cut into the hoop to kick it out. Cut to dribble, it's dribble penetration, but they're not getting into offensive sets.
Yeah.
And then by the time they kick it to Julius, that's a black hole. It ain't coming back out of there. And once you get to Julius, it's going up. It ain't coming back out of there. So no matter if he touch it at 10 seconds or 15 or 4 seconds on the clock, 4 seconds, he got to shoot it. At 15 seconds on the clock, yeah, he feel like he got to shoot it too.
Yeah. But I did call last episode. I said I feel like the Heat was going to win because in Madison Square Garden, the Knicks were barely able to pull that one out. It showed up as a 9-point game, but as we know, when it gets to the closing moments, the free throw game, other team rushing offense, trying to capitalize. They miss, we get the ball, we go score free throws, and it's up from there. So that's how they ran the score up in the end. So I already knew. I'm like, at home, the Heat was able to make a push multiple times at the end of the game. They never took their hand off the throttle, the foot off the pedal, and they kept coming up until they couldn't really score in the end, and y'all ran it up from the free throw line. So I predicted it. It was a good fight. Series 4-2. Y'all didn't ultimately bow out. Now we got to think about what is next for the Knicks. So where do you think the Knicks go from here?
They need, unfortunately, I think they need one of those. They need they need a point or a 3-2. Like I know it don't sound like that, but they need somebody to run the offense.
Yep. They got an RJ Barrett.
Jalen Brunson is a great scoring point guard. But when you get into
But he was
games
good with Luka because Luka was the facilitator.
that's what they need.
But that's what RJ Barrett is. So what if LaMelo? Because I hear talks from the Hornets organization, and they like, we need to win now. We can't win now. We're going to lose LaMelo. You put LaMelo over there, take RJ Barrett away. LaMelo.
That's a whole different. They dangerous now.
All right, let's make that happen. They need to put something together, get LaMelo, but I also think they need to beef up their support roles. Yeah. Because coming off your bench, you talking about Obi Toppin, ain't nobody worried about him. You talking about McBride, ain't nobody worried about him. Who else you got coming off your bench? You talking about Hardenstein, ain't nobody worried about him.
Quickly, the only thing, and he was injured.
Yep, and he got injured, so that hurt y'all. So y'all need to beef up your bench. If you can go find some players that can, y'all can use a Jay Crowder. The Bucks ain't use him. Y'all can use a Jay Crowder. Bobby Porter's done an unfollowed Giannis on the Bucks. Why did he unfollow the Bucks? Try to go, yeah, you ain't know? Yeah, he unfollowed Giannis. But we seen something like that happen before in other organizations where certain players unfollowed other certain players, but if Bobby Porter's up for grabs, go get him.
Yeah, when you look at it's like 400 players in the NBA, and then you break it down to the starters and bench, there's even less really good players. Like 400 people are in the NBA, and it's like those 400 will come into regular gyms and bust people ass. But that other
G League do that.
That 200, them starters are a little different. And you see it because the fact that you don't have 3 guys that can come off your bench and give you 10 on every team, but there are 15 players on the roster on every team. It's like, damn, the NBA don't really have the top talent on every team. It's really spread the hell out. You really got to GM this shit together. You really got to GM it together, bro. Because, yeah, when you look at a lot of people benches in this playoffs, you look at them like, hey, they bench thin. Hey, they bench thin. Hey, they bench thin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of playoff team benches thin. Boston, they bench got Pritchard on it. And they bench, look, Malcolm Brogdon upgraded they bench from last year to this year.
I mean, but really, they bench could be a little thicker because you got Malcolm Brogdon. You could have Derek White coming off your bench, and then if you were to use some of the people they got on their bench, like what's tall buddy name? Start with an H. Hauser. He was cool, but they stopped playing him. So I mean, it's about giving people the opportunity, allowing them to come out and ball. But I'm a wrap that one up. We got to talk about our boys. What you think about this first half of the Lakers versus Warriors game?
I don't know what to call it, bro.
They the Warriors look like you before we started this episode.
They tired, like they came out
tired. They look scared when
they're getting over energy play. They're getting over
exactly.
They're getting over energy right now.
And I'm looking at it. The Warriors got 30 rebounds, where the Lakers have 23. Looney came off the bench and gave you 11 rebounds. Nobody was rebounding before Looney got in the game. Yeah. So, and I'm looking at that. He came off the bench, 13 points, and gave you 11 rebounds. DiVincenzo gave you 10 points off the bench. You got Clay, 13 shots, 8 points. That's fucking horrible. That's horrible. Steph Curry, 10 shots, 12 points. That's not good at all. 1 for 6 from Wiggins. Draymond Green, what happened to all this energy you came out with in Game 5? This is the same situation, an elimination game. You're not even trying to shoot. I seen Looney do a damn catch and shoot. Draymond, you ain't trying to shoot. You dropped 20 points last game and ain't trying to assert yourself in any fashion. Where's the fucking energy? I don't want to hear shit talking about we've been here before. Nobody cares. You sound like a has-been. That's what you sound like when all you ever talk about is what you did. What are you doing now? I don't want to hear that shit, Clay. Nobody give a fuck about you driving the damn boat. We want to see you make a fucking shot. Make a splash in the damn ocean. Quit just shooting every fucking thing.
He's shooting like Game 6, Clay. He's just not making it like Game 6.
He's shooting.
And what's crazy is every Game 6 we get to, he be firing, bro. It's like a cliche. It's like it's like Game 6 Clay is a cliche, bro. He hasn't played a Game 6 great in a long time, but he go out there and get to firing in Game 6s.
They just look atrocious, bro. Like, get the fuck out of it. Defensively, you look atrocious. Just bum foul. Gary Payton, all these damn bum fouls you having out there, bro. Like, come on, bro. Play better ball, bro. So y'all better come out with that energy in the second half, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. We out Chelsea, top of the key, you feel me?
We going to Game 7, man. I believe it.
Game 7.
You pack shit up with God, cause we gon' bless you. Let it burn, you gon' get it back. These just my confession. Stay in traffic, can't get picked off like no shit and duck. Keep one in the tuck. Wife be mad, but bet she still gon' fuck. Don't speak